5, episode 437.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you are just watching or even playing in the Strixhaven Championships, or you're just like, hey, let me jam some Jumpstart on Arena. We are here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, coming to you live from a Minnesotan swamp.
Oof.
It's like 100 degrees outside.
It's warm. It's sticky.
It is sticky warm.
Yeah.
Coming to you live from the swamp. We're going to talk about a lot of different stuff, actually.
Yeah.
Standard, historic.
They all happened this weekend.
Arena events that are coming up or are happening currently.
Yes.
Ways for you to play. And we're going to help you out by letting you know what decks are cool, what events you should check out.
Yep.
So if you're like, I'm on vacation, I want to hang out like beside a lake and play some Arena on my laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
on your phone
on
now.
your phone. What am I saying?
Maria, are you describing what you're going to do this weekend?
Yep, it's precisely. I'm just talking about my life.
Yep. Knew it.
We've got you covered of what you should play and how you should play it.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to let you know.
But before we get started, we have some people to thank for making this show possible.
Yes.
Which always is just a thing that people say, but we freaking mean it.
It's actually literally true.
I don't know how to tell you how true it is that we could not make this show without patrons of it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, especially to Dylan, Manuel, Brett, and George,
Yay!
who came in and was like, I'm George #1 this week, and so we need another George out
we
there.
did. We did
George
ask for George.
specifically called out.
Oh, thank you, George.
That's right. Thank you so much for answering the George call.
But now we need George #2.
Call for Georges.
George #2, please.
George #2.
Help us out.
Change your name to George.
I don't care if it's like some derivative of George.
Just like all the people who changed their name to Salmon so that they could get free sushi.
What are you talking about?
Did you not hear about this?
No.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to look up the details of this while you talk about Patreon real quick.
So please, George #2, come and donate. We'd love to have you, Georgiana, Georgie, whatever it is. Even if your name starts with a G, hey, we'll take it. Patreon.com/GLHF. / GLHF Magic. You can become a patron for literally any dollar amount. If you're like, I want to throw a buck at your face every month, great, you're a patron. If you do $5 a month at our faces, you're a squirrel level patron. You get access to our Discord, lots of other cool benefits, all the way up to play mats,
including getting to play in our tournament.
Yay!
Which is happening Saturday the 19th.
Yes.
And it's going to be 100 card standard.
This is going to be super fun.
Not singleton.
No.
Just 100 card standard. We are super excited.
Yeah, we're going to build the tournament later this week, so keep your eyes open for that. We'll post it on our Patreon when it's ready to enter.
Yep.
But it's going to be really fun.
The last one, absolute blast.
It was a blast.
Only way you can play in it, you don't even have to pay an entry fee.
No.
You just have to be a patron of the show.
And then you get prizes. We have cool ones for like best deck name, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So
awesome prizes.
Really, really fun tournament, and you get to hang out with cool people, which is the best part.
Okay, Maria.
Yes.
I can't believe you didn't hear this, but there was like a Taiwanese restaurant, in Taiwan that was like, they had this promotion where if your name was Salmon, you could come in and get free salmon, and over 150 people went and changed their name to Salmon.
Okay, I'm looking at the headlines here, and this headline is so perfect. Salmon chaos in Taiwan.
Yes.
I mean, is salmon a name in Taiwan? Or
no, they were just like, if your name is Salmon.
This is...
Because apparently, like, someone else is telling me that apparently in Taiwan, it's, like, easier to change your name than it is, like, in the U.S. It's not as thorough of a legal process. So it was just, like, a weird promotion. And then a bunch of people went and changed their name to Salmon.
Oh, unbelievable. That's
Anyways,
great. That's great.
There we are.
You can
That's
call me Salmon from now on.
Before we continue, we also have to thank Card Kingdom.
Yes!
CardKingdom.com/GLHF, a perfect place to get all your Modern Horizons 2 boosties.
Yeah, for sure. There's a pre-release event coming up this weekend. There's probably one through your store. You can even go and play in person maybe for the first time.
Woo!
You need them boosties to be able to do that.
Yes, you do. Card Kingdom, great place to go. You can also buy singles if, like, once those cards are out and you're like, I'm not into drafting, First of all, who are you? But anyways, that's not what we're here to ask. Second, you can just be like, maybe you didn't crack the cards you needed.
Yeah.
You can order them from Card Kingdom.
Or if you're like, I want some beautiful mystical archives, Card Kingdom's got you covered.
Yes,
their
they
shipping
do.
is super fast.
So fast.
Say good luck high five. They'll give you a token or a sticker for free in your order.
For free.
Just use our affiliate link, get whatever you need, then go about your day.
Let's talk about Standard really quickly, because there was surprisingly a little bit of a Standard shakeup this weekend.
Yeah, interestingly enough, the past few events in Standard have been kind of, let's be honest, a little bit snooze-festy.
Yes, they really have. We've just seen Sultai Ultimatum versus Sultai Ultimatum.
Ugh.
Everyone just trying to get
Cast
on
their
out there.
ultimatums.
Exactly, and cast their big ol' spells. But this time, there was a Jeskai Mutate deck.
Yes.
Which was very cool. We got to see it on camera a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Where you would slap Vadrock on top of, other things. Sometimes other Vadrocks, sometimes a Lord Drakus. For sometimes a Goldspan Dragon. Ooh, just for infinite value, basically.
Yeah, so this deck was kind of the new hotness this weekend. How many people played it? 15. And the win rate was the best in Standard, which was 60.7%.
Yes.
And that was the best by quite a bit.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell from these numbers, other than the four people who played Teamer Luca.
Yes.
So it was the real deal. They made the right decision.
Yeah.
And it was successful for them.
Absolutely it was.
So the deal is you're getting spells back from their graveyard and you're just getting a ton of value.
Yeah, it is. It's sick. It's cool enough that I'm going to go and try and figure out how it works.
Oh, great.
And play it. Although I don't know if you saw, but PV posted this very funny tweet that was between him and some members of his team that was I think that I'm favored in the Jeskai Mutate matchup, but I don't know because I don't know how their deck works.
Oh my gosh.
And someone else replied, I think that I'm not favored in the Jeskai Mutate matchup, but I don't know because I don't know how their deck works.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Wow, that's super interesting.
Multiple bros were just like, I don't know what my matchup against this is going to be like because I don't know how it works.
So one player who played this notably made our top 8, Mati Kuisma.
2 of them.
2.
David Inglis was
David
also
Inglis,
on it.
yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. And here's the interesting part. We saw Mati Kuisma go off with this deck on camera because there is an infinite combo which resides within this deck, which allows you to generate 1 mana every time you perform the combo. And eventually you're able to burn out your opponent with Prismari command.
Great.
But it takes forever. So that part I think is unless you're between a rock and a hard place, you probably don't want to try and pull off that combo. Or,
just do it.
Have a few hours.
Just do it.
Yeah, so that was kind of the breakout Standard deck of the weekend.
Yes, absolutely. We also had Is It Tempo, which was out there with 52.3%. Notably, Sam Pardee, although the top 8 was historic, in Standard, he played mono red aggro.
Yeah, bizarre.
I know, wild choice, but it got the job done.
It sure did.
He was just sort of everybody's doing clunky things. I'll just do the fast thing and see how it goes.
I mean, sure. I mean, bring mono red to a Sultai Ultimatum party. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sultai Ultimatum, the most played deck in Standard as we expected.
Yes.
Because of the past tournaments and what Meghan said earlier.
But only 47.4% win rate.
Yeah, not as high as you would expect.
No, and not a winning record.
No.
For the deck.
No.
Which is, I think, very interesting.
The second most popular deck was the Is It Tempo deck you mentioned, which is Goldspan Dragons smashing on in. That had a positive win rate at 52.3%.
Yeah. Something called Naya Spirits. 23 people played it, 53% win rate.
Yeah, this deck is pretty cool.
Okay.
It's like that go wide situation, and you can play Totski and stuff to draw a bunch of cards.
Okay, that's cute.
A player who was doing really well with this throughout the tournament was Fiona Wave from the United Kingdom. She was like, yeah, this deck's pretty sweet. Check it out. And
all right.
Sure enough.
This deck's pretty sweet.
Check it out. Lots of creatures, drawing cards left and right. Just classic green-white situation.
Nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Actually. So, even though spirits in Modern has always been my nemesis.
That's true.
Actually, it's not even a nemesis. A nemesis indicates that, perhaps that they can battle you at your own level. Spirits can't, so.
Snap.
I know. It's one of the biggest burns I've ever made on anything, I
That's
think.
true. And here's the thing too, standard overall, there wasn't like a dominant deck other than this mutate deck, which was better than everybody else. But honestly, the entire format was relatively flat as far as win rates are considered. So like a very nice balanced standard, which we've been wanting for forever.
It's great.
It's here.
So if you're like, I will only play standard when it's good, get out there.
It's
the
good
water's
right now.
nice.
Absolutely.
The water's fine. The water's temperate, whatever the quote is.
The water is like a nice bath.
That's definitely it.
With a bath bomb of your scent.
Come on in.
Preference.
The water's fine. What's that from?
I don't know. People's mouths.
Isn't it a quote from something?
I mean, maybe.
It feels.
But like it would have had to have been a quote from like 1322. Like, because like, isn't that just something that somebody would say?
Shakespeare's King Lear.
Come on in.
The water's fine. I could have sworn. Right? Isn't that like a Jaws quote?
Oh my God. Can I ask you a Shakespeare question?
Yeah.
This is something I remember that I was told, and I'm not sure if it's true. If anybody knows the answer. So in Romeo and Juliet, there's the whole like Queen Mob speech. Yeah. And in it, he's saying stuff like a very good woman, a very whatever, a very tall man, a very blank blank. And I was told by somebody once this was because the word very had just been invented. Right. And they were like being like, ooh, I'm the new hotness saying
I'm the new
very.
I can say very all the time.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I thought that was so funny.
Love it.
Because like we think of the word very as like
you're being lazy.
Like the word the.
Exactly. Or like just pick a stronger word so that you don't have to use very as a modifier in front of it.
Now we've gone way past you, Bill. So like.
Yeah, exactly.
Get real.
Like if you're going to say it's very nice, don't say very nice, just say excellent instead. Fixed it.
Coming at you with linguistics lessons on this episode of
there
Good
you
Book
go. Okay, originated as an encouragement. Oh, never mind. It's not from anything except everywhere.
Come on in, the water's fine.
I don't know. I just felt like a. Doesn't it feel like it could be like a quote from like Die Hard?
From Die Hard? I guess so.
I don't know.
Because in my head I thought you were gonna say like some Disney movie, like.
No, I was going. I don't know.
From Die Hard. Yeah.
Can you imagine John McClane being like,
"Come on in,
the water's
fine," and then he blows them all away. With a squirt gun.
Like with the fire hose from the top of the building.
There we go.
We completely fabricated a scene.
We made a new Die Hard movie.
Anyway.
I'd watch that one. Aren't we due for a new Die Hard?
I think so. It's been a while.
Seriously. Get with it, film productions.
Stop after 3 or go until they're all dead.
Well, look, that's where we're at with Marvel right now.
Yeah.
75 billion movies, and we can't get Die Hard 4? Excuse me?
Maria, Die Hard 4 happened.
Oh. What are we on?
I think 5 also happened.
Okay.
So I think it would be 6.
We can't get Die Hard 6? They're
That's
probably
right.
making it right now.
The Free or Die Hard was 4.
Okay, well, Die Hard 10. We're waiting for you.
6 was something like I'm not Russian. Die Hard.
Now we're getting into Fast and Furious title territory.
Oh, anyways. Standard. Wait, we're done with standard.
Yeah, that's standard.
Historic.
So, yeah, the other format from this past weekend was historic, and it was the most played one because the top 8 was also historic.
That's right. And obviously the story here was Jeskai Turns.
Jeskai Turns.
Just stomping
stomping.
Field.
And they're not even playing Stomp.
No, they're not.
So, wild.
Ugh. Besides that, the story was Brainstorm.
Yes.
There were 33 of a possible 34 copies in the top 8. And it was only 33 because Seth Manfield misregistered his deck and forgot one. So
this is a very Seth thing to do.
That's why it was not the full, complete, as many as there can be.
Oh, that's funny.
Copies in the top 8.
Yeah, so Jeskai Turns was actually not the most played deck in the tournament. Mm-hmm. As far as historic goes. Is It Phoenix was the #1 most registered deck by quite a wide margin.
31?
What? Are you trying to think of copies of Brainstorm right now?
It was 31.
Okay, 31.
Okay. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is it Phoenix? Most people brought it. It was kind of a known quantity coming into the weekend. People were like, yeah, this is probably the best deck. The win rate there was 51.9%, so positive
very solid.
win rate.
And it is really fun.
It's a super fun deck.
You're just casting the cheapest spells you can possibly imagine, like Faithless Looting, like bin those Phoenixes.
Put 'em in the
Put
garden.
them in the graveyard as quick as you can.
Boom.
And then be like, opt, more Faithless Looting, Brainstorm. You can cast 3 spells in your turn so easily.
Yeah.
Then those Phoenixes jump right back onto the battlefield.
There they are.
Yeah. Or Sprite Dragon.
Yeah, there's a little 1/1.
Man, that little 1/1 that can just get on in there.
Yeah, it's a really fun.
Stormwing entity. Sorry, I'm just remembering like cards
Stormwing.
that you're like, whoa.
You can play that sucker out really fast.
Yeah,
It's a
you can.
3/3, and you get to scry as well.
Has prowess.
Yeah, and I mean, Brainstorm being in this deck, being in Just Guy Turns, I mean, it cannot be overstated the effect of this card on
Yes.
Historic.
So that is the question, right? So we're looking at, okay, Just Guy Turns.
Yeah.
It's probably too good.
Yeah, so
That
wait,
seems to be like the consensus.
let's just quickly describe Just Guy Turns in case nobody saw what it does.
So what you do is at some point either using Dwarven Mine, which
Yep.
creates a 1/1 if you have 3 mountains in play when it comes into play, or using Prismari Command to create a treasure on your opponent's turn.
Or cycling your making a treasure with your
Yes.
Magma Opus or whatever.
Treasure cycling your Magma Opus. You are going to use Indomitable Creativity of all things.
Of
which
all
is from
cards.
Kaladesh Remastered, which is red, X.
Mm-hmm.
And you exile X permanents, X non-land permanents.
Yep.
And their controller exiles cards from their library until they hit a creature card or a permanent. It might be any permanent. Anyways,
I think it's a creature.
creature or permanent, but point is the only one that they have in there is Velomachus Lorehold.
Yep.
And so he hits the battlefield, this big old 5/5 hasty dragon. He bonks them
Boink.
when he attacks. And then as he attacks, he also is like, let me look at the top of your library and we'll cast an instant or sorcery. And usually it's a time warp. And then they just do it all again.
Yeah.
And then they take as many turns as they want while they bonk you with their Lorehold,
Bonk,
with their Velomachus Lorehold, and then you're dead.
Yeah, I think it's a very versatile deck too because of the fact that there's Brainstorm, like which we're going to talk
Yeah.
about. But like also you can always just cast stuff super early because
Yep.
you're making a bunch of treasures. You can cast a
yep.
Magma Opus on turn 4, which is as they say pretty good.
Pretty good.
And then you can overload God, I can never say it.
Mizzix's Mastery.
Mizzix's Mastery.
Which you can cast any
Everything.
number of instants or sorceries from your graveyard.
Just cast them all.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this deck is wild, extremely powerful, very explosive, and wasn't really known about until this weekend.
So much card selection
Yeah.
in this deck. There's Brainstorm. There's Expressive Iteration,
Yeah.
which was
Didn't see that one coming.
huge piece of it.
Yeah, so this deck is just versatile. It fires on all cylinders. It smashes
It's
you in the
very
face.
cool.
And they broke the format coming in.
Yes.
It's always exciting to me when people understand that, oh, wait a second, we have discovered the deck that is the best deck. And this
Yeah.
deck was 61.4% win percentage. Compare that to Is It Phoenix, which is 51.9.
Yeah. It is the highest by 10%.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is really something else. And so the question becomes, right, okay, maybe things will stay the same, but probably not.
I don't think so.
Enough people are like, this is not fun.
Yeah.
Those people are wrong, but whatever. They're quite loud.
This
so
is too
we'll give them
dominant.
that.
What about that?
Okay, they're like, this is too dominant. Great. And you're like, okay, what are we going to ban?
Yeah.
Because you can look at the Jeskai Turns deck alone and be like, hey, do we ban something from this? Do we ban Time Warp?
Yeah.
Do we ban Mizzix's Mastery?
Yep.
What do we ban weirdly Indomitable Creativity?
Yeah.
What could you ban to stop this combo from happening?
Right.
Or do you look at the full top 8, which had no black or green cards?
No, it was all Is It all the time in this
All
top
is it
8.
all the time? And do you say we ban Brainstorm? And we'll see what that does to the turns deck first before we see if we need to just nuke it outright.
I don't think taking Brainstorm away is enough. That's my take.
Wow, that's a spicy take.
Yeah.
I think that it is.
All right.
There are our two sides.
There's two sides to every story. Yeah, Brainstorm, I think, I'm not sure if it can stay in Historic. It's a legacy card. It's extraordinarily powerful. And also the complexity of playing Brainstorm is very, very high.
Yeah.
On top of all of this. So like if you're a better player, more experienced player, you're going to play way better than somebody else who just is like, look at this Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Take some cards.
I mean, I don't know that I feel negatively about it rewarding practice.
No, I'm just saying like this is the most... it's a skill testing card that we have seen put into a format like Historic, which is like a big premier Magic Arena format. I don't know. Yeah, I have a premonition that it one day will not be allowed, but here we are.
Yeah. I mean, I think if it were up to me, I think that I would probably look at these results and say, okay, let's axe Brainstorm
and just
see what happens.
Sure.
Because I think, maybe I'm wrong and maybe turns will still be too powerful, but I think that amount of card selection is pretty important. And I don't know if something like Opt fully, remediates that.
Opt is fine.
Exactly. Like, I love an Opt, but maybe it's not Brainstorm.
Oh, no way.
It is not Brainstorm at all.
I think we need to take away Mizzix's Mastery. That's my guess. But just because of the problems that it could potentially cause in the future.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also think it's really weird.
I think it's such a cool card, so it makes me sad to say that, but
Maria, you're like, of all the things that you want to get rid of, you're picking an 8 mana sorcery.
That's right, I am.
And here's my opinion. If you can't deal with an 8 mana sorcery...
Hello?
Sorry, someone wants to tell me about my warranty expiring.
They've reached up through the grave. Excuse me, did you know your warranty is expiring? They reached you in the podcast.
Yes.
My God.
If you are losing to an 8 mana sorcery, you deserve to lose.
But it's also a 4 mana sorcery.
That's true, but when at 4 mana, it just does one thing.
Like casting Magma Opus on turn 4.
Okay. Maybe you get rid of Magma Opus.
Oh, nah.
All
That's
right.
fine. Okay, we're going to find out what's going to happen because I don't think that they're going to let this
I think that it will be soon.
stand. Which is a little bit sad because you never like to see the top decks from tournaments just immediately getting axed.
That's true. I just feel like maybe it's more personal taste. Is just that it's like, hey, if you're looking at the format and you're saying Brainstorm's gonna have to go, why not just cut it and kind of like give it? I mean, you don't have to give it forever.
No, you can put it on. You can put it in timeout. Give
it 2 weeks and be like, we're gonna see what the format shapes up like for 2 weeks with no Brainstorm.
Suspend.
If turns is still absolutely busted, then like, okay, we'll axe Mizzix's Mastery.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they would be as flexible as that because that would be kind of nice, I think. But who knows?
Who knows?
So it's kind of hard to say where Historic's at right now because of the dominance of the turns deck in the tournament. And it will be everywhere now for sure on Arena. But there were so many other fun decks. There's a cool Jeskai Control deck that seems like something you'd be interested in.
Oh, yeah. Seth Manfield played that one.
Seth
he made
Manfield.
The top 8
he made
for
top
the billionth time.
So true. And also, they say if this turns deck goes away, Monty was saying that he thinks Orazorius Auras will be back on the menu.
Oh, so you have a personal vendetta.
I have a personal vendetta about this. Yeah, if this turns deck goes away, I think because then that deck's okay against Phoenix. Yeah. And so then we get more of a balanced place, at least as far as my favorite deck is concerned.
All right.
But, I mean, Historic a little bit skewed this past weekend.
Yeah, it really was.
If you don't know who won, it was Sam Pardee.
Yeah.
Took down the whole tournament.
Congrats to him.
Yeah, congratulations, Sam. He,
like we said, on mono red aggro in standard.
Red aggro.
Which had an otherwise abysmal win rate.
Very strange.
Somewhere in the low 40s.
Yeah.
But good for him carrying it through and then was obviously on this Jeskai Turns deck.
Yeah. And if you missed the final game of the final match, it was super fun. So
it was some really good Magic this weekend.
I think you should watch it.
There was some great stuff in there.
Yeah.
which is like, I don't know.
Like did you
it's
see
kind of rough when you're like, okay, this deck is too dominant, so it has to go. But you're like, but great Magic is getting played.
Yeah, we had some excellent games this past weekend. Do you remember the game with Autumn's Azorius Blink deck?
Yes.
That was super cool.
Versus Paolo.
Yeah.
Where everyone was like, oh my God, Autumn's going to time out. Like it's not enough time.
Yeah. And it was such a cool match.
And that one was so cool because we got to see Autumn make the decision to be like, okay, am I going to cut my losses in what looks like a game 2 that I'm losing?
Yep.
And try to win in game 3 with almost no time on my clock?
Yep.
And the answer for Autumn was no.
No.
I'm just going to like shove through this thing and eventually come back to win this game.
It was so great.
It was so good.
And then the reaction at the end, just like, yes, I did it. And I was like, that's what we watch and play Magic for right there. It was so cool.
It was very cool.
Yeah. And like we said, congrats to Sam for winning it. I mean, he's been in the scene a long, long time. His top 8 at 15 Grand Prix, won 2 of them.
That's an absurd number.
And also Marshall Sutcliffe picked him to win, which is the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Great stuff.
Wow, Marshall.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
If in case you're out there and you're like, oh my goodness, what if I don't want to play any of these like top meta decks, these most played decks? There were 2 rogue decks that did very well in Historic.
Right, let's go.
There's one which was Ryan Wu played Teamer Ramp.
Cool.
And Shintaro Ishimura played Teamer Marvel.
Yeah, I heard about this. So you can
go take a look at those deck lists. If you're like, I don't want to play your boring meta decks, but you want to get in some historic games, go take a look at those.
Do you remember Aetherix Marvel and Standard?
Oh, of course I do.
Well, here you go. You can play it in Historic now.
What a good time.
Okay, we're going to tell you about some super fun arena events coming up in the near future. If you're not interested in laddering with Standard or Historic, don't worry.
That's right. The Arena Cube is happening right now. My number 1 tip is just take Prismatic Bridge. That's Asika on one side, Prismatic Bridge on the other. Draft all the lands that you can.
5-color fun time.
All the 5-color fun times. And then just every time that you see a super OP planeswalker or creature, take it.
Great. So
it is so much fun. I've just been drafting it, honestly, back to back to back.
So are you how high are you picking your lands? Pick 2, pick 3, pick 4?
Literally, yes. Yeah. Absolutely that high.
So that's what you got to do. And then and then once you've got that, you can just lay back and be like,
exactly.
I'll take this.
Or if there's one that's like, I will say, so if you want to do this, great time.
Yeah.
The ones that I will skip and pick something else out of the pack is I don't like the modal double face lands in this instance because you don't want lands that are only one color, even if you get to pick the color.
Sure.
We're only in it for picking, the top pick is the 3-color lands. The triomes. Absolutely. Anytime you can get your hands on a triome, just pick that, slam that sucker.
Great.
It is great.
I'm here for this.
And then after that, the regular duels.
Because I was just playing, Esper Control every time, and I was just kind of I'm kind of bored of this.
Oh, no, just...
Prismatic Bridge.
The only game that I've lost recently is because my opponent hardcast an Ulamog the turn right before I got to hardcast my Ulamog, and they exiled a land that I needed to cast it. So that's the kind of party time stuff I'm talking about over here.
Yeah,
it's a real good time.
Is really high powered, really wild, and a very fun time where you can do super busted stuff. Are you playing best of 1 or best of 3?
Do you know what? I played best of 3 first.
Yep.
But I will say I've actually...
You've come around?
Yes. Usually you want to play cube on best of 3 because you're like, my deck wants to do its cool thing.
Yes.
But I will say that the Prismatic Bridge deck for me is so consistent, it doesn't matter.
All right.
And if you're picking your lands high enough, literally I've cast Prismatic Bridge on turn 5. I've cast it on turn 4, Maria.
Okay, let me guess. How many lands are you drafting?
10 minimum.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. Anyways, that I've moved over to best of 1 only because it's so hard to go 3-0.
Yeah.
Because you will play against completely degenerate stuff.
Oh, for sure.
In the 2-0 bracket of traditional. There's stuff where you're just you're like, whoa, what?
Well, if you're telling me that this is consistent enough to play in best of 1 and feel fine about it, then yeah, I'm all for it.
A good
let's go
time. I love it. So okay, here's my pick order for things.
Okay, let's go.
Right? 1, obviously Prismatic Bridge, or Field of the Dead or Golos.
Question. What if that's not in your first pack? Are you just like, I'm picking lands and then someone's going to pass it to me?
Yep.
Great.
And then, so like, yeah, 1, obviously that. 2, lands.
Yep.
3, something like a very OP planeswalker or creature.
Okay.
4, a piece of removal.
Great.
The end.
You can do that. That's
Like,
an
that's
easy
it.
recipe for you out there, listeners.
Such a good time.
All right. Put it in the recipe book. Draft in Prismatic Bridge and Cube.
It's just so much fun, which is why I want to tell everybody about it.
Megan, you can't keep talking about it because now I'm just
I
like, I
know,
gotta
I'm
go play
sorry.
it. I gotta go play it.
Like I've just had the wildest combinations of dumb things in play.
Oh, that's
You're like,
great.
here's my Thrashing Brontodon and also my Kaya the Inexorable, like in the same deck. I don't know.
I love it. That's great.
Oh, good stuff.
So if Cube is not your jam and you're like, I need a more beginner focused arena format that I want to play, guess what? Jumpstart is here.
That's right. Everyone was like, this is so much fun. And it was only here for a brief period last summer.
Yeah.
It is back.
So Jumpstart works like this. There's going to be, 48 different pre-constructed decks
Yes.
that they put together.
Yeah.
They offer you a selection. I can't
Like
remember how
3
many.
I think that they show you three and you pick one, and
Yep.
then they show you 2 more or 3 more, and you pick one of those.
Right. And then you combine those two, smash them together to create your abomination of your choice.
Yeah.
And you battle against somebody else who's done the same thing.
Yep.
So these decks are all themed. So that's like cats, unicorns, Phyrexians, dragons. So you can make
Jace.
unicorn dragons, unicorn jaces, whatever you want. And then, you play. It's pretty cheap to enter. You win rare cards, and it's so fun.
It's just a really good time. It's so silly.
Yeah, and the power level's like pretty low, so like
Yeah.
the games are usually pretty good and not lopsided.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
a
love
really
it.
good time.
Yeah, you should check it out if you've never
Very
played the
much
Jumpstart
recommend.
before. It's just a blast, and I'm happy they brought it back.
Yeah.
The other thing we want to let you know about coming up in Arena is the Historic Brawl event that's coming up later this month.
Yes.
So to get you ready for it, if you've never played Historic Brawl,
We actually had an episode a little while back about it.
Yes.
Because we had a historic brawl tournament.
We had our own tourney, so we got you ready.
Yes. Maria is a
beforehand.
degenerate and wants to play Cody in this event.
Yeah, Cody's pretty busted.
Which I have to say, like, I honestly come with a plan for Cody,
Yeah.
or else you shalt get wrecked.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll ban it. I don't know.
They might.
Because it's
I
very,
can see
very,
it's
very
so
good.
good. It's disgustingly good, y'all.
So on the 18th, which is next Friday after this, they'll have F&M at Home Historic Brawl, which is free to enter.
Yeah.
So you can test out whatever
Try
you
things
want.
out.
And then on the 19th through the somethings, it will last for a little while, is the Historic Brawl Fest.
25th, I want to say, or something like that.
It's in our notes. I just couldn't see. But that is pay to enter, and you win Japanese Mystical Archive card styles, which I'm all here for, of course.
Very cool.
And you can battle against a bunch of people. And I think Historic Brawl is so fun.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to get in there and do it, so that Wizards is like, yeah, let's do more Historic Brawl.
On our stream a little bit ago, you played a Quintorius deck.
Yes.
And I played I love her so much, Tatyova Benthic Druid.
That was really
which I
cool.
was so happy to have come back. And I made so many tokens that
Oh, yeah.
Arena was like, you can't have anymore.
We were like, what is the maximum?
We hit the token limit.
So I waited to concede until Meghan had played Craterhoof Behemoth
yes.
on all of this stuff so that we could see how much damage I took.
It was something like 16,000.
It was a lot. I don't remember, but we had chat guess, and somebody was very
Yes.
scarily close to
It
what
was
it
like
actually
over
was.
16,000 damage.
It was pretty
It
funny.
was great. And it could count all the damage.
Yes.
But at some point, like 2 turns earlier, it had stopped giving me more
hit the
tokens.
token limit.
And it'd been like, no, you may not.
You may not.
Because I had a skewed swarm. Skewed.
Yeah, and so that was super fun. And
was
you can
very
just
good.
basically do whatever you want. Any kind of style of deck you like to
Great
play,
stuff.
Historic Brawl will let you do it.
Yeah.
And it was a super, super great time. So I'm excited for this.
Come prepared to beat Cody.
You got to beat that Cody.
Ugh.
And I
It's
hope they...
just, the problem is...
and
is
Prismatic
that if
Bridge, speaking of.
Yes.
Asika.
If they use Cody once, you're done for.
Yeah.
You have to kill it every single time immediately when they cast it.
Yeah.
Because if they untap, I'm sorry, but you're done for.
You've been codied. You've been codied.
You've been codied.
Rip. Yeah.
The
so
Vociferous Codex has made an entry about you via eating you. And then you're in the book and it's just a photo of you.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right?
That's how Cody would process the information.
Cody knows
Dark.
everything because Cody went around the multiverse and ate
Dark.
all the things.
Cody has eaten all everythings.
Cody ate the knowledge. Anyways.
Watch out for Cody at night. Sorry,
Mom,
I'm freaking everybody.
There's a book in my room.
Do you ever go on the internet and read for like these stories about parents who say that the creepiest thing their kid ever said?
Yes.
It's one of my
really
favorite things to do.
There's a book in my
There's a book
with
in my
legs in my room.
Mom, the man with the snake neck is looking at you from inside of the closet.
And you're like,
that was
no.
one. And I was like, no, I'm going to nope on out of here, child. Goodbye. Oh.
Been nice knowing you.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but I guess you can't stay because that's the creepiest thing I ever heard.
Oh, great.
Megan, show off your painting.
Oh, yeah.
Painting.
This is because Seth Manfield was playing the Is It Tempo deck in Standard.
Yep.
With Galazeth Prismari.
Mm-hmm.
And so people obviously started calling it Galazeth Prismari.
Yep. Pris Manfield.
Pris Manfield. Here's my little
I said Megan had to
Should have
bring
made
this
for a bit.
because we have to hang it up in the office because of its glory. And
Isn't it so good?
and you all need to see
It's
it.
a masterpiece.
Look at this.
I don't know what else to
Look at this.
Honestly, I was like, oh yeah, Athena, I can draw one real quick. And then I started and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. And then I was done and I was like, I'm a genius. This is perfection. It doesn't get any better.
This right here, look at this painting.
Look at this painting.
Look at this horse.
Look at this
Have
horse.
you ever seen such a horse?
Look at that.
Well, everybody, it's time to say thank you to another one of our sponsors, Ultra Pro.
That's right. Bringing you what you didn't know you needed, but have always wanted.
So true.
A boombox deck box.
Hello. Have you ever been like, I wish I could listen to some sweet jams literally coming from my deck box?
Do you know what? Now you're going to be able to.
Now you can.
It's just, it's like so, it's so delightful.
I love it.
I can't even with it.
Yeah, I'm super excited to
Like-
get one of these in here to show you.
Oh my God. So you just use Bluetooth.
Yeah, it just connects.
It's just a little Bluetooth speaker and also a deck box.
I love it.
Guess what? You don't have to carry two of those things.
No.
If you want to be playing like a chill game of Commander at home with your friends and you're like, let's turn on some tunes.
What if you're at the beach playing Magic?
Now you've got some tunes. What if you're making 2 stops today? 1, you're going to chill out in your hammock by the lake. 2, then you're going to go play a game of Magic with your friends. Guess what? You can play some tunes at the lake without having to pack extra stuff.
There you go.
Put it all in one bag. Put your boombox in your bag. Put your deck box in your bag. They're the same thing.
Wow, I love it. Thank you, Ultra Pro, for thinking of
Yes.
this invention we didn't even know we needed, and now we need it.
I can't even.
This boombox deck box, Ultra Pro.
Amazing.
Thank you for being our sponsor.
Boom deck box.
And creating
deck
this.
Deck boom. Deck boom. We have to. You can't say deck box boom box every time.
Boombox.
Boom-
Boombox.
Yeah, it is just a
Boom.
boom box.
I guess. I don't know.
But it's a real box.
Well, everybody, that's this episode of Good Luck High Five. Thank you so much for hanging out with us as usual.
That's right. Please.
Just please, you know? Just please. It's a nice word.
Please consider becoming a patron over on Good Luck. Go over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic.
Nailed it.
Woo! Got there. Thank you again so much to everyone who became a patron this week. Second George, you're out
Where
there
are you,
and
Second
we
George?
need you.
And here's the thing, too. You almost said goodluckhighfive.com, which is our website.
Yes.
P.S. We have a shop on there.
That's right.
Which has all of our sweet 80s kitty speaker logo stuff.
Yes, you can get it on a fanny
A
pack.
fanny pack.
You can get it on a fanny pack.
It's so cute.
Go get it.
It's a great illustration done by a world famous illustrator, actually, legitimately. He's a comic
Wow.
book illustrator. So, yeah, go check it out. You can get it on shirts, fanny packs, mugs, whatever you want, notebooks. It's really, really
Great.
cool. So, check it out if you want some GLHF merch.
Sick.
Yeah. And thank you once again to Card Kingdom Ultra Pro for being our amazing sponsors.
Yeah.
And hopefully you come and become a patron, sign up for a tournament.
Right. Become a patron because 100 card standard is going to be sick.
By the way, we have emailed out to everybody who donated for our Doctors Without Borders
Yes.
fundraiser.
So if you did not get an email from us, reply to your original email after your donation and let us know.
Yeah.
Because we should have gotten back to everybody.
Yeah. So thank you once again if you donated for that. And
You know
everybody, go jump in a lake because it's really hot out.
Until next week, keep cool, cats.
No, until next week, come on in. The water's fine.